Bank of England showed its continuing concern about the possibility of a recession today. It cut interest rates for the second time in 3 months. Pointing to a showdown in growth and a fall in consumer spending, the bank cut its base rate by 0.25% to 5.25%. But while millions of borrowers and homeowners are a little better off this evening, the picture for the rest of the economy is much less clear. Here's our business correspondent, Mark Edo.
Another interest rate cut to calm the nerves of consumers worried about the cost of living. But there's only so low the Bank of England can go because inflation is bearing down. Higher utility bills, higher fuel bills, and then there's food. They make 50 tonnes of cheese a day on this farm in Cheshire. It's the perfect place to illustrate the pressures in the economy and the difficult balancing act the Bank of England has when it comes to rates and inflation. The owner says the price he pays for his ingredients has shot up. Milk's gone up by 50% in just a year. Every piece of machinery costs more to run now that energy bills are higher. And more expensive fuel means transport costs are up too. Throw in the credit crunch, making it harder to borrow money cheaply, and it's no wonder this latest interest rate cut is warmly received.
Yes, it is welcome, and talking to other business leaders in our manufacturing industry, we have to have this. And it will also help us suppliers who are complaining of rampant costs. It'll enable them to check their prices and hopefully just give everybody more confidence for the future.
Higher costs here mean higher prices for consumers, exactly what the Bank of England is afraid of. Plus, if workers believe that prices will go up, then they'll push for higher wages. That also feeds inflation. The Bank of England believes some slowdown in economic activity is needed, but it doesn't want to see growth slow too sharply. Hence, this latest interest rate cut. Howard Davis was number 2 at the Bank of England back in the 1990s.
I'm sure that rates will fall during the course of the year. The Bank of England's judgment is, when is that appropriate, or should they keep a little bit of pressure on inflation for now, since inflation is still a little bit higher than they want it to be.
Back in the factory, they're getting on with what they do best, making cheese. But what the Bank of England does next could have a big impact on their business. Mark Edo, News at 10, Cheshire.
You're beautiful, you're beautiful. I saw your face in a crowded place and I don't